Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Power of Man podcast. My name's Rory Paquette. You guys all know that already. Cannot believe that I get to be here every day. So grateful to be here, and we have an awesome guest today. A young man that I've known for a while. He's gonna tell his story. He's gonna talk about some events he's got coming up. You guys are gonna love him. He's awesome. It's the first time he's been on the Power of Man, but he's been on my other podcast, The Podcaster Nation. He was good enough to have me on his. We'll talk about that some more. Um, I want to thank everybody out there in our audience, all you folks that are liking and sharing and subscribing. It is huge what you're doing to help support us. Ever since we went to that 5 day a week publication where we're coming out every single day, Monday through Friday, you folks have just embraced it. You've been helping us. You've been carrying us. So if you're not doing what you're doing out there, I don't get to sit here and do what I'm doing in here. So very grateful. Thank you for all of that. Now, if you're a friend of the program, and I know you are, then you know it's time to pay a couple of bills. So let's take a sip of our preferred beverage. Ooh, oh, good stuff. I got to get one more of those. I'm like smacking my mic with this cup and everything. It is so good. Guys, it's really hot, piping hot. And you know what it is. It's at Freedom Hill Coffee on Instagram, Freedom Hill Coffee, the best stuff out there. Deep, dark, rich, bold, beautiful, just like my wife. This cup of coffee is so awesome. They brew a mean bean. They do all the right things for all the right reasons, and they support veterans, which is another reason why we support them. You all know how important veterans are to the Power of Man show. So go check them out, Freedom Hill Coffee. Find them on Instagram at Freedom Hill Coffee, all one word. Tell them Power Man sent you. Let me get one more sip of that before we get going. I got to be able to keep up with this young buck. All right. Please welcome to the show, everybody. For the first time on the Power of Man podcast, autism advocate and the crazy fitness guy himself, Jimmy Clare. Jimmy, how you doing, man?
Uh, am I outside of my head? Pretty good. Inside my head, crazy, and I don't know.
You're working on it. It's a work in progress. Okay, good deal. Well, let's. I'm not sure if I want to get inside your head, brother. So maybe we should stay outside of your head because that might be a scary place.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you. I'll let you decide.
All right, man. So, hey, you are the Crazy Fitness Guy, and you're the owner of the Crazy Fitness Guy podcast. Tell everybody what the podcast is, first of all, and what you do there, and why it's so awesome.
So the crazy. I actually rebranded my show a little bit. Uh, it was the only reason why I kind of rebranded was because I had a very short mission statement that did not explain. At the time, it felt something to kind of fill in a couple of blanks. And then my mission kind of became more clearer of what I
Hmm.
wanted to go with. I just needed to have somebody hold my hand to get me there, so to speak. Because it's a big and task to handle, but uh, I'm that crazy to do so. And good kind of crazy. So basically, my show is about it's called the Crazy Fitness Guy Show, and because I do audio and video, and basically my new mission is to well, let me give you an example of this.
Okay.
So I want to be the online platform for those people with extra challenges and non-extra challenges, and bridge the gap between the two to have a more understanding of each other. Because here's how I look at things, uh, and not trying to be black and white about this, wrong or right, not that whatsoever. There's a place and time for, we have a lot of autism resources and groups out there. That's great. However, why do we have to label every little nook and cranny? It's like one group might be like, hey, we're the autism. I'm just gonna make up a random group name.
Okay.
So if somebody has this name, apologies. I'm not picking on you. It's just random crap out of my head. So let's say some the let's say autism guru group or whatever. Why do we have to label everything? I'm not saying don't be. Uh, I'm not saying don't use the word autism. Say you're for autism, but you know I'm tired of people having to label every little nook and cranny. It's like you don't have a group out there called the uh, I mean, so many like this advocacy group in my in, down in Philadelphia. There's like the disabilities group, disability rights group. That's great and all, but you know what? I want something to be authentic. Feel like you know you can be your authentic self, no labels, no nothing. I want so my mission is to bridge a gap to have a better understanding of each other. So because we label so many things in society, and it's like think about it back in middle school, you have the jocks, you have the cool kids, and then you have the nerds and whatnot. I mean, nerds are pretty cool. Uh,
That's right.
Yeah, but my point is like we have to label every little nook and cranny. It gets tiring after a while. And it's like you can label stuff on your desk, fine. There's time and place for that. But other than that, you know, why can't we live in harmony here? And it's like so I want to be the platform to bring the two together and say, hey, we're not so different after all. Yes, I'm autistic but we both have the same number. Well, we all start off with the same number of hands, uh, feet, toes, and eyes, ears, etc. I just learn differently than others. I have some other challenges like spinal stenosis and whatnot, but you know that's what all makes us all unique. And so my mission is to be the platform for everybody and anybody to be a part of, whether you're autistic, another extra challenge, or non-extra challenge, whatever it is. I'm going to be the platform because, you know, there's other autism groups like Autism Speaks that does not speak for the autism community, and they should just I don't know, go somewhere else that maybe to Mars can cater to the aliens. I'm not sure. But
Wow.
yeah.
Tell me how you really feel, brother.
Well, have you seen their Twitter page? I mean, or X, whatever the hell people are calling it these days.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, so let's just say they they tweet so many negatives about uh, autism and whatnot. I want to be the person to bring out the people's, hey, just because you're autistic, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I met someone the other day was for my podcast, and they they were gonna go like once they graduated from school, they were gonna go stock shelves in a grocery store. I'm like, do you think that's the only thing you're gonna capable of, or is that what society is telling you that's the only thing you can do? Come on. And it's like, I'm not saying, okay, yeah, even though I'm slightly autistic, I'm still on the spectrum, and I know it's easier said than done. But if you knew my whole story from growing up to where I am now, let's just say, and uh, make a long story short, it has not been easy. It's been hell.
Sure. I mean, I've known you for a while, and to be honest, you're a pretty amazing guy, man.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate it, and I feel honored to know you. The I'm curious about what you're saying about being labeled. It sounds like what you're saying is that when a group of folks get labeled like that, then they start to believe in the label and the limitations that go along with it.
Yeah, pretty much. And so it's like for my podcast, I want to like take those. people's unique stories, unique challenges, showcase, hey, here's what this person's doing. Hey, here's what this person's doing. Uh, there's one person I came across, I'm going to be interviewing. He's uh, an autistic comedian. And I was like, he actually started just wearing shirts with saying, with autism on it. I'm like, that's cool. I, I like that because you know what? I'm not saying like, oh, everybody should go wear autism around on their shirt, but you know, I thought it was pretty cool because it's like, yeah, I'm not afraid to be my authentic self. I want people to accept me for who I am, and I had to hide, had to mask. I've spent a lot of time growing up hiding behind, um, try to fit within everybody. It's tiring. It's boring. It's annoying.
Doesn't sound like you either.
No.
No, I mean, I for those of you who don't follow Jimmy on Facebook, for instance, okay, this guy, so much for being just quiet and unassuming and trying to fit in. This guy is like taking on insurance companies and like posting updates about how much butt he's kicking while he's doing it. And I mean, you're putting it in your stories and you're doing posts, and I mean, I'm over here just going, "Get him, man! Heck yeah!" I'm like rooting for you. But you're not shy about going after somebody who that you know is doing something wrong, brother.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you said that because, it, uh, you know, yesterday I couldn't help but laugh when the state insurance said to me through their portal, it's like, Mr. Clare. I was like, okay, first off, that'd be my dad. I'm not a Mr. here. Uh, I was like, do I look like a, I mean, this was just all through text, so I know that they don't know what I look like and whatnot. I was like, really? We're gonna go with the Mister here, and I was like, uh, but they kind of like talked down to me a little bit. Well, I mean, that's how I interpret it. So that could just be my own brain's fault. But there's like, we don't monitor or regulate the insurance. We just do the external reviews, and it's like, well, somebody needs to do something because I'm not even getting any services from my mental health insurance. It's like, so they're breaking their own rule books. So that's great. And it's like, and no one's holding you accountable. My state rep is not holding you accountable. I'm like, yay. And it's like, I'm gonna go run for state rep next. I don't have to do anything. But you know what? I even said to a friend of mine, I don't think I could do it because, I get bored easily. And if I'm if I if I don't do anything, I'm bored. And so and if I decide not to do anything while I'm in office, I'd be like, okay, I would outwork everyone 10 times fold the amount of stuff I do for my business every single day. Even with
Yeah.
even on schoolwork, I'm piled on top of that.
Yeah, you would never make it as a politician because it's actually okay to do nothing down there, and you're not allowed to tell the truth, apparently.
No,
And now, what state are you in? Do you mind me asking?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Oh boy. All right. So the Pennsylvania state legislature better be careful. Let me just say, I'm totally in favor of the idea. I would like nothing more than to watch you run for office and get it and just beat the hell out of everybody that's just not doing what they're supposed to do down there. Okay. I think that would be must see TV in my world, and I would tune in hard. But
I could have it on my podcast, live stream it to the whole
you're
world.
really good. I mean, the way you went after the insurance company, I can't imagine, you going after government like that. It would be really entertaining, but yeah, you would have a little bit of a problem because you do tell the truth very loudly, and that's just not something politicians can do, man.
Yeah, and I keep my foot in my own mouth too because, you know, I don't remember exactly what I said. So, uh, but I think it went something along the line with the state insurance, like, but yeah, someone should should be watching over these insurance companies. Since like since they're so trustworthy. Nah, the no
Right.
one ever.
Said no one. I know. I know. You do put up some pretty entertaining stuff.
My
Speaking of
parents are like,
which,
you're gonna, and it's like, you should be careful. And it's like, this is like the 90th person who told me be careful. I was like, what are they gonna do to me? Drop me? Good, drop me. And it's like, I didn't drop me for what? You're not giving me anything anyway. So
right. I'm not getting the benefits I need right now. So if you drop me, I'm still not getting the benefits I need. I'm just not paying for it
exactly.
anymore. You're doing me a favor. So no,
It
man,
works perfectly.
I know that keeping busy is something you're very good at. You have the podcast, which I know you put a ton of time into. It's a really good show, and you do a lot of marketing for it. You also go to school full time, right?
I would say more like part-time, but
Is
a
it
lot
part
of the
time?
homework takes me. Yeah, I take two classes at a time.
Ah,
Uh, but the homework, let's just say, because my brain likes to overanalyze every little nook and cranny, sometimes the homework takes me a lot longer or a lot less depending on the subject matter. So, for instance, math, holy freaking crap. If you should saw me in statistics, I was going to, this is me on my keyboard.
banging your head for everybody who can't see
Yeah,
you.
bang my head against my keyboard during math, and that was not fun whatsoever. And then science should be fun in the fall. Me and science did not work together whatsoever. The last time I had a science class, last time I took science was back in high school. I had this one teacher. Now, okay, what I'm going to say, not making fun of, okay, good,
Okay.
throwing it out there.
All right.
This guy, my my teacher had this British accent. Not making fun of anybody from Britain. What I'm saying, it was so dry. It was like watching paint dry on the wall. I mean, it was about all about plants and photosynthesis. I just wanted to have a root canal by the time I was done. Uh, I mean, I think a root canal would have been more fun. And
There
I
you
was
go.
like, if I really cared about the science, I would go outside and watch the grass grow, literally.
See, there's Jimmy Clare for everybody who didn't know you. Now they're getting an idea. That's the guy that I follow on social media right there. Okay, so in addition to going to school part time, in addition to doing your podcast and everything you do with that, you also do public speaking, man. Tell
Yeah.
everybody what you got coming up, because I mean that's awesome what you got going on.
So I well, interesting enough, I have four different events coming up. Two of them I'm speaking as a guest, and one is a part of a panelist for. Um, the other one is speaking at this grief conference online, and ironically enough, and this just happened to magically happen, not planned like this whatsoever. Each speech that I've put together builds on top of the other one to the next one to the next one for a big grand finale. And I'm like, I couldn't do that. I was like, that, that wait, did this happen? And it's like, holy crap, I didn't even mean for that to happen. It's like this was such a by accident. I couldn't make it up if I tried. This so each one builds on top of each other. Uh, so the first one is talking about autism and grief. Actually, no, that's not even the first one. The first that's to be the second one.
The first one's
So
April 30th, right?
yeah, well, I mean that's my event that I'm hosting.
Okay.
But the two before that, uh, one is the National Autism Conference, and basically, it's by basically I'm that speech. I'm talking about what I'm advocating about, why I advocate, how I advocate, and why I chose to be an advocate.
Mm.
And ironically, at the beginning, I talk about, I share a little recap of, because I've been on this on the summit a few times,
Hmm.
and so my the last the last time I was part of it, I talked about the dangers of healthcare and insurance companies with people with extra challenges, and it's predicted the future for me. And it's like, so I added a small little recap to where I am now, and I was like, holy crap, it's like just the stars just aligned perfectly. It's like, thank you, God. And it's like, I guess you want me to go after all the bad eggs. And by bad eggs, I mean all of them.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
And then
All
that
right.
one goes into the grief conference that talks about autism and grief. And then talking about how to solve grief uh, environments and how to be supportive when somebody's going through grief, what it looks like. I'm sharing from my point of view because everybody's grief is different. Um, let's just say I heard somebody recently, I'm not going to say when and where because that would be too specific, but broadly, just to keep anonymously, uh, this person said that, uh, let's just say that they don't handle grief and they don't think they handle grief a certain way like they should. And I was like, well, that's because everybody thinks, well, Hollywood thing. Everybody watches Hollywood. It's like, oh, you have to grieve, grieve this way, cry this way, do this way, and do that way. Everybody has their own ways of grieving and whatnot. So I share from my perspective, what I do, what it looks like from my perspective. Then that talk goes into how to build autism communities and the do's and don'ts. I'm not going to go through all the do's and don'ts, but one example that comes up to the top of my head that I may or may not have it included. Uh, Little hint. Uh, the word special, I cannot stand. And the reason why I can't stand is like special education, uh, because you know what? It was really not that special, to be honest. It was a smaller class, but you know, we still learned the same things. We were just, let's say, regular sized class was ahead of us. We were like maybe a step or two behind, but we still finished the uh, same kind of stuff, same time frame. We might have skipped some sections, but you know, it's still education. I think there needs to be a different word for it, different levels of it, because keeping everything in this same, everybody in one room is like fitting a square peg in this round hole. Worry, I got to
Yeah.
ask you, have you tried that? Because it's impossible. Tommy needs to go back to you know, that little toy that maybe grew up playing is like, hey, why can't I fit a square peg in a round hole? Like,
Oh yeah.
it's just not working.
I had the big round ball with the shapes cut out, and you had to try and
Yeah,
put the right shape and the right thing. Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I spent half my life trying to put a square peg in a round hole, man. Didn't work
look where
on
it got
podcasting.
us.
That's right. So, oh man, I totally understand, and it's refreshing to hear you say that, and I'm glad that you're willing to put yourself out there. You call yourself an autism advocate, and frankly, that is what you do. You advocate for folks who happen to have autism, and I love the fact that you're always saying, look, don't put us in some category. Don't label us, right? Don't call my education special education because there's nothing special about it. It's education, you know. I mean, it's at your pace and everything else, but it's just education, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, man. I love the way that you're willing to put yourself out there and do that. Do you find that the autism community, other folks that that are on the spectrum, that they feel the same way, or are you more of a maverick in how you feel about all this?
I think it's a little mix of both.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm proud to be in the autism community. Like I said, I feel like it's okay to label for certain things, like having a community of autism, because then there's a community for uh, any other types of communities. Um, I don't know, let's say religion or whatever. Uh, but it, I just, like I said, I get tired of just like, for instance, um, it's not like we would, you know, okay, let me share from like a recent example that I struggled on. So for my final project in my college, now I knew what my professor was saying, but I let's just say I had a different vision for it, and this was my project, and and I could see where she was coming from, and I appreciated where she was coming from. But there was a, but I felt like there was a few difficulties deciding to go her route on this one small, I wouldn't say small, but it on this Q&A panelist kind of idea. Well, it's not kind of idea. It's happening anyway. And but she suggested to me to, well, one of my classmates suggested to me, Jimmy, I think you should interview people from the college who's on this, who's also autistic and on the spectrum. Okay, that's a great idea. However, here's a challenge. How do you know if somebody's autistic? Now, do you just go up to somebody and say, "Hey, are you autistic? Do you have any mental health challenges?" Now,
Right.
that's like asking somebody with, I don't know, somebody who's different and unique, and say, like asking them is like, uh, I don't want to say any specific communities, but let's say somebody had a tattoo on their arm, just a couple of tattoos. Like, are you part of a biker gang? You might get yourself punched in the face. So it's
Yep.
like, now I'm not saying I'm going to punch somebody in the face, but I'm like, I'm open and honest. I'm autistic. I'm proud to be autistic, but somebody who's not found their authentic self, don't know how to be their authentic self, or don't feel like sharing it with open to the public, you're not just going to go ask somebody, "Hey, are you autistic? Do you have mental health challenges?" And I mean, if it's an anonymous survey, maybe, but if it's, but you still won't know the person's name because you're not going to be asking the person's name.
Right.
So, so that was so my point where I was going with that was, it's like I don't want to it, the labels. I mean, it was not a feasible idea, and my professor told me, it's like, well, you have to get out of your comfort zone, and it's like, I think I'm already there. And it's like I'm literally managing a whole freaking event, two events to be honest, organizing both. One happens to fall on top of the next one. So one on April 30th, and then the next one goes into May 14th, uh, at my church, that talks about my discovering my true authentic self with autism and overcoming adversity with autism and bullying and whatnot. And it's like, okay, event planning is definitely not in my future, uh, going in my future, because when I do make it big on stages, I'm definitely hiring somebody to do this, because this is a job inside of another job, and there's another job. And it's like the podcasting stuff I like, the keynote speaking I like. this event planning, you know how many hurdles I had to jump over just to get to where I am today? And on
Quite a
top of
few, I'm
that,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, you know how many people I'm still looking for camera people to record the event because my college is leaving me with no one because the their resources in the tech department, they're all going to this other event that everyone else's dues projects is due on the same day as mine. So it's like, okay, somebody who's an event planner at this college, well, let me put it in the nicest way as possible. Needs to get their brain checked.
You always put everything in the nicest way possible, man. So that's
Well,
good.
that's about my PG version of that.
There you go. There you go. Now, you bring up bullying a lot. When I talk to you, when you and I have interviewed each other back and forth and stuff, and what I see on social media, and is that something that you had to deal with a lot growing up?
Yeah, I was bullied for 8 plus years.
Oh
That
my God.
it kind of left a lot of scars and uh, not physically but emotionally. Uh, let's just say a lot of emotional scars. Some friends abandoned me over the years, which left some more emotional scars. Then, uh, just recently, uh, last few months, I came out of my recent episode of depression, and some of the after effects just been coming and going here and there while I'm preparing for all these events. Not that I'm not grateful for all these events. It's just a lot of logistics. And one thing I don't think has been, wait, that didn't even sound right. One thing I don't think, holy crap, I'm a keynote speaker and I can even speak. Holy crap, I have a problem. Ba- So basically, uh, uh, one thing I know that is not helping me at the moment is that each weekend I'm stuck in my own head and my own thoughts. And I have a lot of doubtful thoughts at the moment. And it's only because of this, like I said, so many logistics, feeling like I'm overwhelmed with everything. And it's like, I still have to do more printing for invites. I still have to mail all these invites out. Uh, I have a date to get them all out, which would be 6 weeks in advance before both events. Well, actually, 3 weeks before one event, and then 6 weeks before the other event. And it's like, please, mail system, don't screw up. You had to get this there before 2026. Uh, and because I have no faith in the mail system, somebody just needs to just put it out of its misery, what's left of it. I actually read an article, um, uh, and I skim read it because I'm a really good skim reader and I can spitball back to you what I just read. And and one of the postmasters that they were blaming the one of the government's laws why they're slow. And it's like, huh, one of the government's laws why you're slow. You've been slow every freaking year and you have never mentioned this before. And it's like you just get worse. And so now they're trying to say, we're rolling out a beta way to get your packages there faster. I'm like, a beta way. And it's like, how about you just close your doors and just don't reopen?
Once again, I mean, I hate that you don't ever tell me how you really feel, man. I mean, you got to stop holding back, you know. It's,
I mean, come on. How many times? I mean, how much of this? How expensive is our stamps now? And it's like, oh, we had to increase the price of stamps. It's like, wait, the whole government runs this freaking system. How is this? You need. Upgrade stamps? The
Right.
freaking hell. How does
Every
this
every
work?
every couple of pennies they can get out of you, man, they're gonna get it.
Hey,
So
I should put this on a shirt. Do you think I can put this on a shirt? Uh, what does the government and vampires have in common?
I don't know.
They just suck all the money. They just suck stuff out of you.
Yeah, you probably could put that on a shirt, a pillow, coffee cup, something like that. Make that crazy fitness guy merch. You'll be all set, brother. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you've got these public speaking things coming up. Give me, we kind of sort of went in and out of it, but tell everybody a little bit more just about what Crazy Fitness Guy show really is about. Like, what do you cover on your podcast?
So we cover anything about healthy living, lifestyle. Lifestyle, I say anything really goes, except that the only thing, five things I do not touch on is money, religion, politics, sex. I'm missing the fifth one. But those are the stuff I don't talk about. But the other stuff I talk about, fitness, uh, entrepreneurship, and, and a lot of people get. Uh, I also talk about self-help, self-care. I had authors on the show, a celebrity on the show. I've I've had so many cool people on the show. I had you on the show, uh, talking about podcasting. Uh, that was a really fun show. You definitely need to come back for that shit.
Hey man, I'll come back anytime. You know that. So as soon as you said you had a celebrity on the show, I thought you were talking about me. So
Both. How's that for improv?
yeah, that works, right? Go with it. All right, and then you've also got a premium outlet, I think is it through Patreon?
I use Fourth Wall.
Oh, okay,
It's I got a Crazy Fitness Guy Elite podcast. Basically, it supplements the free one, but it's ad free. You get some extra perks in the private Facebook group that no one can find on Facebook. How I know that is because I tested that. The only thing that works on Facebook. You got something correct, Facebook. I mean, anything else that they got nothing. I mean, how many outages that they have? I think it was last year, like three.
yeah, where everything was just down, nobody
Yeah,
could find anything. Everybody whose
but you can't
business is
find
on
this.
Facebook just shot. Yeah,
Hey, I got a question for you, Rory.
of
How you?
course.
I don't know if you find this helpful from Facebook, but I seen people's posts from like 8 days ago, 10 days ago, in the top of my news feeds,
Hmm.
and it's like, wouldn't it be helpful if it was like today, an hour before, 2 hours before? But you're showing me like 8 days ago, 12 weeks ago. I'm like, this is not helpful. If I wanted to recap, I would just scroll through it myself, or give
Right,
me the filter button that lets me just like select. I want to see just recent, and recent I mean today recent, not 5 weeks ago recent.
right. Yeah, I can't come. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm with you. I get stuff from years ago, and it's like, why are you showing this to me now? If I've been following this guy, I've seen his stuff. I don't need to see something from a month ago. I was there when it came out that day. So
Well,
yeah, I know.
just in case you want a recent recap. I mean,
Right,
might as well make it into like a TV commercial segment just for you. It's like, here's what you missed in case
right.
if you just want to relive your fantasies.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to put links in there for the Crazy Fitness Guy show, of course, so that they can find you. Is there another way to contact you? What's the best way for someone to contact you? Let's say they want to be on the show or they want to talk to you, about public speaking or something like that. What's the best way to reach Jimmy Clare?
Just message me on social media at Jimmy Clare Speaker
Okay.
on Facebook and Instagram, or Jimmy Clare Speak on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Jimmy Clare Speaker. All right. And it's Jimmy Clare Speaker, all one word on all the platforms, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. We'll put that in there too. All right, man. Listen, as we kind of wrap this up, you've told us a whole bunch of stuff. I appreciate you sharing all this and how you really feel about all these things. It's been another awesome episode with you. I'm going to let you kind of close this out. If there's something that I forgot to ask you, or something you want to make sure you point out to everybody, or maybe one little nugget you want to leave with everybody, I'm going to give you the floor for the last minute here, man. So go ahead and have at it. What's one thing you want to throw out there?
I would say for those people who have mental health struggles like I do, that comes in waves, sometimes big, sometimes small, sometimes they just have up and downs in lives. It's okay to not to be, it's okay to not to it's okay to not be okay. God, if I can speak. Uh I can speak, but holy crap, it's been a rough 3 weeks. Uh
I
that's
hear
where
you.
my mental health is at. But um I'm I'm lucky to be here because let's just say I was close to not being here last year. So
Wow.
just let that sink in.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're here too, brother. So I'm glad that you made that choice. And that's one hell of a way to leave everybody on
Well, I
the
had to leave a
episode.
mic up some way.
Oh, you didn't just drop it, you smashed it on the pavement. So
I had to smash something.
I
It was either
expected
that or my
nothing
HP
less.
laptop.
Nothing less. All right then. Jimmy Clare, host of Crazy Fitness Guy Show, Autism Advocate. Jimmy, thanks for being on the show today, brother. I really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
You got it. Folks, the reason we bring these awesome people on here is because you have value too. People like Jimmy are out there. They're fighting for themselves, for others. They're trying to make the world a better place. And if we all did that a little bit more, I think we might find our way in this wilderness that we call life. So I appreciate every one of you for listening. Jimmy has laid down some really good stuff. And the last thing you said there, it's okay to not be okay. I'm talking to fathers and husbands here on this show primarily, and you guys need to hear what he just said. It is okay, and it's always okay to put your hand out and ask for help. And as long as I've got a podcast, I'm gonna be right here to help you up. You guys, you have value. You're worth it, and at some point, you just have to believe it. Until next time.